Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well. Here's something going on. I don't know what it is. 1 second, guys. It's probably me. Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And yes, I know this has been for high demand. People have been asking for this debate. I've been asked for this debate for months and months since we had the last debate, actually. We are talking about Andreas Christensen today. The debate show is around him. Is he or should he be spoken about in regards to the top defenders that have been at our football club over the sort of 10 to 20 year sort of mark, shall we say? There's gonna be a lot of talks about that because we have got AC Hive here himself, man like Lewis. We've got Matty K. Also joining us, Redneck, who was meant to be joining, said he might not be able to make it, and has now just told me that he will try to get in. So he reckons he'll be in, hopefully, in a bit later on as well. But make sure that you smash the like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. I think we're about 60 away from 4K subscribers. 60 away. I know we can do that. I know we can do that on this stream. But make sure that you share it, you like it, get them likes up. Minimum 75 likes as always. And before we move forward, let's cue the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well. Before we bring in the people in the back, just quickly see what you guys are saying in the chat. CFC Times says AC Hive. Let's go. We've got Josh here saying, let's go make it hurt, Gem. Declared's here. He said, I'm staying awake. There better be blood spilt. We've got Jose CFC says, let's go, bro. Smash the like button. Noah, big up to you as well. Says, big up, Gem. Are you enjoying United crumbling? Listen, I always enjoy rivals crumbling, bruv. I always enjoy rumblers, them crumbling. Jose says, let's let Bitchinson go if you don't want to be here. Hyper Mind says, kick his ass, destroy him, Lewis. Kick his ass, Jim. Destroy him, Lewis. Just be fair. I like that one. Jonathan says, let Bitchinson F off. Do it for us, Jim. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Listen, this is a bit of fun as well at the same time. And before I do bring him in, a lot of people know me for calling him Krusty the Clown, always abusing him. See me and Lewis sort of going back and forwards. I don't hate him. I just think he's just a good player. I just want to get this out there before we delve into the debate. I don't want people to think I hate the guy. We don't hate the guy. I just don't think he's as good as Lewis makes him sound like. And that's what the debate's about. Because on one side, you've got someone that thinks he is that good. Yeah, which is where the challenge is. And on the other side, you've got me who doesn't think he's that good. And I actually think we could let him go and replace him and, life would move on sort of thing. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Top Bin says, big up, Gem. AC wants to leave. Let him go. End of debate. I'd say CFC, big up to you. Simon, big up to you. Matty K, who's in the back, says, can we get a hashtag Andreas Christensen in or out? What are your views? Yeah, let's hear it. While we're going through, we will be bringing up the chats as well. So make sure that you get involved. Keep him good for rotation and counts towards homegrown. Lukaku, not good enough, is what I always say. You can't ever go through a stream on GNA TV without someone mentioning Lukaku. I've noticed this fucking jokes. Anyway, let's start by bringing the man himself, Carefree Lewis G. You know him best. Go and check him out. It's literally his name as well. The man, the myth, the Christensen crusty agenda lover, kisser, dreams of him, hugs him, has a teddy bear of him, is here. What's happening, Lewis?
Yes. What are you saying, bro? You all good?
I'm all good, bro. I'm all good. How are you?
Yeah, just to say as well, if anyone was wondering why we were late, I was just yamming through my food, so this one's on me. My bad, guys. But we're here. Better late than never. Typical Carefree Lewis G timing. But let's go.
Yeah, never late than never is my rule, to be fair. Usually when I do my streams, I'm always about 5 minutes late. Anyway, I'm never on time, ever on my stream, but it is what it is. We move. We've also got Matty K in the house. Matty K, how you doing, my man?
How we doing all? Good. Ready for this debate.
He's loving this debate. Redneck was meant to be joining us because originally the way it was going to be set up is obviously you got me and Lewis, obviously Krusty versus AC Lover, and then you got Matty K, who, to be fair, doesn't like Christensen maybe as much as I don't like him. I mean, I like him, but Matty K doesn't like him, shall we say. He probably hates him more than I do, put it that way. And then you got Redneck, who, to be fair, hopefully he'll be able to come in, did actually say that he had some thoughts that he wanted to share in regards to Christensen as well. But the real big topic is around, is Christensen good enough to be classed in the Chelsea greats list? Chelsea greats list is what we're talking about as well. We're not only going to be talking about that, we are going to be talking about his individual performances this season, this current season that we're in now. Probably end up talking about past seasons as well. I'm sure Lewis will probably be reverting back since he came through the door, so we'll see what happens. But listen, guys, make sure you smash the like button as always. Big up to Real Chris that's in the house as well. Matthew as well. Nice to see you as well. And you know what? As Lewis is the defender, I'll let him go first on this one. I mean, in terms of Christensen and everything up to now, obviously, last discussion we had last year, if you think he was in the form of his career, should we say, in his life, actually, under Chelsea, there's now talks about him potentially leaving the football club, him choosing to change his agents to potential agents that work with Barca. There's also talks about him looking for the next big contract away from Chelsea. Since then to now, Lewis, I know it's a silly question to ask you, but do you have any different feelings towards this guy, or do you still feel that he's that important? He's still one of our best defenders. He needs to stay, etc., etc.
Well, I've said numerous amount of times that I think he's the second best centre back at our club, even though there is very high standards, and I also don't want to use that as a disrespect to any of the centre backs that we have here, because I know it's going to be typical for everyone. You say this guy's one of the best, and they think you're slandering everybody else in that position. No, we have the best batch of centre backs in Europe, in my eyes, especially in a back three. And in my opinion, I just think AC is the second most reliable one out of that trio. Now, you can agree, you could disagree, it's whatever. It's high standards. If you think Rudiger's better, fair enough. If you think Reece James is better at centre-back, fair enough. Trevor Chalobah, fair enough. All of their performances have been good enough that you can have that sort of debate. Now, I was even saying in November when we were preferring, Rudiger, Silva and Chalobah, I wasn't even trying to push AC into the team at that point because the performances you were seeing out of those three, you couldn't drop any of them, which was the same thing as I was seeing last season when it was Christensen, Rudiger, and Azpilicueta. And I was saying Silva ain't getting back into this team because he couldn't. The form that everyone was playing at, it was not fair to drop any of them. So they couldn't get dropped. Thiago Silva came back in March and was sitting on the bench for a good month because he just couldn't break through any of those three because of the form that they were showing. Now, I always say when it comes to AC and Thiago Silva, I call him Cinderella because the boot fits just the same with both of them. And that's because I think Christensen doesn't have the experience that Thiago Silva has. But other than that, like both of them perform to such a high level in a back three that you don't see any difference when they're both on the pitch, which is why Christensen comes in to replace Silva every single time.
Oh my God.
You don't see a difference. Here we go.
He's stinking up the place already.
No, because you literally just...
Thiago Silva. How's he on the same level as Thiago Silva?
I want to get this right.
Wait. So you agreed with me when I said there was a full month where Silva couldn't get back into the side because of Christensen's form in the middle of a back three.
That was it. When
Thiago
Silva didn't make the team and Christensen was in that team, that was because he was injured.
And then he came back and he was still sitting on the bench.
But Tuchel said during that period of time that he was struggling for fitness as well. So it's not like it was. There
was obviously 1 or 2 weeks where it's a case of you need to get him back up to match sharpness. But then we got to that point and he was still sitting on the bench. He didn't come back in until West Brom when we lost 5-2, if I remember correctly. And again, that's got nothing to do with Silva. I'm not trying to say Silva came in and we shipped 5. I'm not saying that. I'm saying his form was so good that you couldn't bench him. And then use the Champions League final as another example. Thiago Silva comes off injured. Everyone's shitting themselves. Oh, no, Christensen's coming on. He comes in and drops a master.
He had a good game. He did. But this was in a period, and let's have it right. This is in a period where Andreas Christensen was probably having the form of his life. And not only him, there was a number of players that fitted that system and we were getting the best out of, right? So if we had a final tomorrow and you had the choice of Silva or Christensen to start in the middle of that defence, who are you choosing?
To start in the middle, Silva or Christensen?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to go Thiago Silva.
Okay.
I said Christensen's the second best at the club. Silva's the first.
Cool. So
so you're saying Rudiger is
where does Christensen make it in that back three? Do you still think he gets in front of at the
He'll be right centre back. He'll be right centre back. I think our best back three is Christensen, Silva, Rudiger.
What, over a player named Trevor Chalobah, who's benched Christensen for pretty much most of the season?
He's more benching because of the contract talks, if we're being honest.
that's
And good form too. I do have to be real. The form has been there.
Cool.
So you can have a debate. You could have a debate about any two centre backs against each other. Do whatever you want, but like I would go Christensen over Chalobah.
My question is, okay, so different question here then. If Chalobah doesn't get injured, do you think Christensen takes his place?
Well, even in spite of Christensen being benched because of the contract negotiations, we were forced to bring him back because of injuries. So yeah.
So you think if Trevor wasn't injured, didn't get injured to lose his starting spot that he had, Christensen would have just took over it because of the form? You think Christensen better and would have took Trevor out of the equation?
What, over the last month?
Since Trevor got injured. So Trevor was playing, he was a regular starter. He then got injured and Christensen come in.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Christensen got benched because of the contract negotiations, and then he was forced back in because of the injuries. So if Trevor Chalobah wasn't injured, there's a good chance he would still be playing. Yes.
Do you not feel like he's more of a, from what I've seen? I mean, bearing in mind, barring the end of last season, should we say more so when Tuchel came in, where he did start and he did hold his place. Do you not feel that he's more of a backup defender, is what I'm trying to say at the moment? Because he doesn't get in front of Rudiger, he doesn't get in front of Silva. I feel like Chalobah has recently forced himself into this squad based upon form, and Tuchel seems to prefer him to Christensen.
It's more the contract negotiations, but he's had the form to back it up.
At the present,
can I argue this point that I would argue Trevor in the right side centre back is better than Christensen, and that's in every way, shape, and form this season.
Go on.
Okay, so right side centre back he's not to be a sweeper, is he? So the idea is in the right centre back you'll have Thiago realistically doing the sweeper's job. Is that fair comment?
Well, it's a sweeper role. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so in that case then, my question, so just to give some Premier League statistics here, right? So this is just Premier League games, but we'll go off it. So successful tackles made by the defenders. Rudiger, 26 top. Trevor Chalobah, 22 second. Silva, 18 tackles, third. Christensen, just take a stab at how many successful tackles he's had in the Premier League.
What was the fourth lowest? Because I'm guessing he's at the bottom.
He's at the bottom. He's at the bottom. What
was the lowest number tackles? Before that?
18.
I'll go 12.
Half it. He's done 6 successful tackles as a centre back in the Premier League. If you want to go look at other stats, for instance, so if you want to go clearances, which you would think, okay, your sweeper would have the most, which is Silva at 57, Rudiger at 54. He's then got 37, where Trevor's got 27. So he is less. I'm not saying he is, but he's also got 3 years experience on Trevor. Aerial battles 1 is the only one where he's even competing, but he's also had the most aerial battles lost in the team with 32. His win percentage is 73%. Trevor Chalobah's is 79%.
Wow.
Every statistic that you can think of.
There, it's the stats as well, isn't it? When you look at it. Season. Yeah.
You see, this is why I also said it's a very good argument to have any against each other, because the form has been that good all round. That's why I was also saying, when I say I think he's the second best, I'm not saying it as a slight towards any of the other defenders.
Yeah, okay, but we're just comparing against Trevor Chalobah there, who I would argue...
I know, but we've also brought the numbers for a few other defenders.
We have, yeah. And that would be my point. So I don't think there is any question, and I think it's ludicrous to debate, that Rudiger and Silva are first and second choice defenders in this team. And I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's close, because argumentally, in all defensive stats, right, Andre Christensen wins 0. Silva wins 4 of them, Rudy wins 4 of them, and then, believe it or not, Trevor wins 1, which is last man tackles, which is the only defender that has 1. So to even put Christensen on the level of Rudiger and Silva, I think is one, absurd, and two, insulting.
Nah, because we're looking at form throughout the season. I think Christensen's also played the least minutes out of the three, so you do have to take a bit of context into that as well. Rudiger Christensen is a very fair debate to have, and you could go either way. You really could, and it's up to you. It depends what you think. I think in terms of form, I agree with you. I think Rudiger and Silva have been on better form throughout the season, but they've both also played more.
So, no, I'll give you that. So, as far as Premier League, Christensen's played 13, Silva's played 18, Rudiger's played the most with 21. But argumentatively, the one that we're comparing him to, which we're saying is apparently the lowest out of all of them, which is Trevor, has only played one game more. But yet his stats are still better.
But that's my point. And this is why, Lewis, you know, when we had these discussions, when we've had these debates before, my biggest thing, and it ain't only with Christensen, is that he's a part of it, obviously, but is the consistency thing. And I know you used to argue that he's every time he sort of came into the team, he's got decent numbers, which in the past, which is whether they were limited or not. Because let's be serious, he wasn't getting much games under Sarri. How many games did he play under Sarri?
In the league, not a lot. He only really came into the side at the end of the season when Rudiger got injured.
That's what I'm saying. So we can only really judge Christensen from when? I think preferably when Lampard first come into Chelsea.
I'd understand that, but then you take away his first season under Conte, where he played really well and for a good 4 or 5 months was one of the best centre backs in the league.
He was handpicked though, wasn't he? He wasn't someone that was playing sort of in and out every game, was he? Under Conte,
he was playing in and out every game. Luis got benched by Conte, and they had a massive falling out, and Christensen took his place.
Fair enough. I actually didn't remember that. If that's true,
yeah. Like after the Roma 3-0 game, they had a big falling out. Christensen came in for the Man United match and played every game since.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate.
Finish off saying one more thing. Mayo says here people forget AC is a prime replacement for Silva, so he can stay on the bench. But once Silva is gone, he's your most important. So for me, I disagree. The part of the reason why I disagree with that is because I don't think he has all the qualities that Silva has. And one of the biggest things for me that I don't think he has is leadership qualities. I just think he's more of a quiet character on the pitch. I think
we've heard leadership though, so what else does he not have?
I think he needs experience. Can I just
what do you mean? Hold on a second. I need to put Matt back where he belongs with the stats. I gotta put Matt. Hold on a second.
Right, one second. Just let me finish what I'm saying. I think it's not only just a leadership thing, but I do think they're important. But it's also needing to have the experience next to you. I don't think Christensen's. When you say leader, I think about a player coming in the team that literally increases the levels around him. I don't think Christensen's that kind of player. I think he thrives off players that are a bit better than him, which then increases his level. So
I think the leadership
will make him look good because
I think the leadership debate though is small in comparison to what we're looking for. So you obviously want a leader at the back to organise things, and I understand it from that sense. But as far as leadership skills, okay, yeah, that's nice to have at the back. But if you've got a load of capable defenders, it's not something you necessarily always need. I mean, Azpilicueta was our captain for years, very successfully, and he's not. I wouldn't say he's a leader that shouts and gets the team in order. He leads by example. There's different types of leaders. So I wouldn't even put that against Christensen. My argument would be is his stats don't match up and the eye test for me isn't there. Not only that, if you want to look at it from
the eye test is there, but the stats is what it is.
Here's the thing.
So hold on.
Cover up your stats. Stats are fake, especially for defenders. The stats that you mentioned earlier, I had to come in. I didn't supposed to because my daughter is asleep, but I had to get the phone and put your stats where they belong because those stats are fake for one particular reason. Here's the reason. If you rate a defender based on how many tackles he get, you're already bad defender because defenders don't get rated on the clear tackles. Tackle is the last defense of the player. He's supposed to position himself. He's supposed to do not let dribble himself. And that's how you actually know that the defender is bad. If you let them pass it, and you have to recover with the tackle. That's the bad defender.
That's not what it means.
No. I've got an exact counter argument to that. I 100% agree with what you just said, Redneck. So the ideal is when you do a tackle, you're successful at it, and you're not giving away fouls. The argument is in this Premier League season, he's made 6 tackles, yet he's given away 8 fouls. So that for me says when he's in a one-on-one situation, and you could talk about hold-up play for other defenders to get back, he is causing more fouls than he's doing. Hold on, he's doing more fouls than successful tackles. That's
But
stats.
this
That's
is solely basing your opinion on
Opinion,
stats, which is also the
exactly.
problem.
So even if you
no.
if you take the opinion out of it, which I agree with, and I know stats can be misskewed and taken any which way, and the argument could be is, oh well, he does an excellent job at holding up the ball for others to get back and win play and do all that extra crap. I agree with it, but my argument is that's fine if you want to make that argument. My argument would stand the same, that Andreas Christensen is nothing special. The argument that would be from that point of view is Lewis Dunk could come in this team and do what he's doing. The reason
And you
and
this is just pure stupidity. Lewis Dunk. Are you freaking kidding me? The guy is literally a stature, and you compare him to AC?
Lewis Dunk.
my point being is
No,
is
your
what
point.
does
You don't have no
Christensen
point. You don't have no point.
I do have a
no
point. You don't have to like it, but it's facts. You can't argue with the statistic.
Facts. It's
Okay,
not
so-
facts. You look at
so-
the defender as a stat, and it's not a stat that
Okay.
actually makes that
So
stat
look at
does
it
not
from
make-
other views then.
Listen to me.
Let's look at
Listen
it.
to me. No, I'll listen to you
I'll
now.
just-
You listen to me. The
Go.
stat that you made actually points out that the defender is actually bad for making the tackles. But actually, the less tackles he makes, the better defender he is.
Okay, so the argument would then be you rate it on inceptions, you rate it on last ditch tackles, you rate it on aerial duels won, where he isn't in the top 2 for any of these stats. One stat he is, which is, I think it's, let me just double check it, I think it's aerial duels headers, I think it was, or was that third place? Aerial battles won, he's second, only by 6 more than Thiago Silva, who plays as a sweeper anyway. So even if you want to get other stats involved,
Are we going to argue about anything except stats?
well, but this is
Oh
my
my
point. So let's take the stats. Let's take the stats off the
Bro,
table.
talk to me about his performances in game. Don't talk to me about stats.
All right.
I've seen him had one bad game this season against
No.
Zenit, and that
No.
is
This
it.
is where you're wrong. I'm not having that. Yeah, West
No,
Ham
I'm not
got
having that.
absolutely rinsed by Antonio.
Go on, talk to
He
me.
got-
What other games this season?
West Ham, he got absolutely rinsed.
West Ham, he put Antonio in his back pocket
No,
for
he
90
didn't.
minutes.
He got-
Yes,
we
he
got
did.
three
He
two.
did nothing from
We got
Antonio the
3-2
whole
and
game.
they
Because
attacked
AC
down the right
had him
because
in
he
his
was the
back
weak
pocket.
point.
He put him in a spliff.
They treated him as the weak point, Lewis. Thiago
They
Silva,
did not
Rudiger,
treat him as
and
the
Christensen
weak point.
did.
Antonio was
He
their
did.
weak point. It was
No, he
Bowen
didn't.
spinning Rudiger
Why did
around for 90
Antonio-
minutes.
Why did Antonio square up to him then? Why did Antonio play off that corner rather than play against Rudiger or Silva? Why?
He picked the weak link.
No,
He picked the weak link.
no,
Exactly.
no.
Then
Because
why
who
was
play-
Antonio
who-
doing
hold on a
nothing
second,
the
hold on,
whole
hold on a
match?
second.
You
Who
didn't hear
plays after
Antonio
right?
do a thing.
Because
Why?
who plays after right? Who plays for West Ham after right?
Off the left or the right?
No, at the right. Okay, who played against Rudiger? Who played against Rudiger?
Bowen
Bowen.
played
Bowen.
against Rudiger.
So you're saying
Rudiger.
the reason why what's his name fucking the reason
Antonio.
that Antonio was playing against Christensen because
Can you
of
please
Christensen,
put the Queen's latest comment up, please? Thank you.
so you're saying that the
Seems
reason
lost.
why Antonio played against Christensen is because of Christensen, not because Bowen position is on the right side. So you're saying
I'm
they should
saying-
swap
wait,
if it
listen to
was
my
a
point. Antonio is a striker, so he didn't hold his position against Silva. He concentrated on his position with Christensen off that side.
It's a
why I'm
freaking
saying
common
every
sense.
time-
Right, right.
Yeah.
And if that was
It's a common
tactical, that was a
sense.
massive L because
got
he
bullied
lost
in the
every
air.
battle.
He got put
No,
on the
he
floor.
didn't. No,
Struggled.
he didn't.
Struggled.
No, he
And then,
didn't.
all right, forget this game. We're gonna carry
Am
on,
I
right?
talking
Let's
to your
talk- let's
face
talk-
or your ass? Because I'm just
1
hearing
second.
gas.
Let's talk about the
Right.
Zenit game where we drew 3-0 away. What happened then when he had Sarr next to him and he had Aspie to the right of him and we drew
What game?
3-0?
I told
Exactly.
you Zenit he was poor. I just said Zenit was his only bad game.
Shocking. And that was the game where
Right,
you
right.
needed
So
to
you're
step
now
up.
going back to the one game that I already told
What?
you
I'm
was
giving
poor
you
at.
the
What other
games. I'm just
games?
giving you
What
West
other
Ham. I'm giving
games?
you
Okay.
it.
West Ham,
Back
you're
to
wrong.
West Ham.
Unbelievable.
West Ham, you're wrong. He was our best
No,
defender
he wasn't.
against
Exactly.
We lost
After
3-2.
West- after-
We lost
He was
3-2.
up-
He was in
What
that team.
after
he was our
West
best
Ham
defender.
game?
No,
Which
he
one?
wasn't. He was
Yes, he
What
was.
side
Yes,
did
he
we
was.
score? Look. You can cry and make comments as much as you want. Of what side of the field we conceded more goals this season, right or left?
I don't even know that. I wouldn't even
Exactly.
know that. I wouldn't even know that.
But we conceded even in West Ham. We conceded 2 after right side, not after Christensen side.
But
So
for
you-
the argument,
Go on, mate.
well, my argument was, you have to forgive me because I'm trying to remember which goal it was. Wasn't there one goal in that? he should have won the header, which then led to the.
Never
I think
won
it was the
anything
third
like
goal. No, the West Ham third goal was that
No.
Masuaku one, wasn't it? So it's this. I think it was the second goal where the cross come in.
So people
and he
get
should
him
have
for the
cleared it.
second goal because he went for a block and it went underneath
Yeah.
his legs. But let's be real,
Yeah.
Bowen had an amazing strike for the second goal. It was a powerful driven shot into the bottom left corner.
Yeah, that's
So,
It's
so,
not that.
so,
Come on.
so I'll agree. It was a good strike, but it still doesn't change the fact that his job was to block it, and he didn't. Where Rudy made some key
so.
interceptions.
Are
in that
we
game.
gonna
Silva did
literally?
it.
No, hold on a
What
second. Are
key
we gonna
interception?
literally?
Rudiger got spun by Bowen all match.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just want to clarify my point here. I've never once said Andreas Christensen is a bad player. Not stating that, not fighting that cause. I think he is a good player. I
You
said
said
this to
Lewis
Jem.
Dunk could come in and there wouldn't be any difference.
No. So
Exactly.
I said he could come in and do a job, right? Which I
You said there
genuinely
wouldn't be any
believe.
difference.
I genuinely believe he could do the same job that Christensen's doing at the moment.
I genuinely believe you flip-flopped in 5 minutes after you got caught saying his players is levels of dunk. I genuinely
I
believe
do
that.
agree. I agree. So my argument is this.
You just lost your own debate. You basically flip-flopping on your own words that you just said.
Here we go. Why has he not started many games? Because he's been benched. That's why.
Yeah,
No,
like,
it's a contract.
Yes, because of the contract issues. If there was no contract
and
issues,
it's a
Caliber would
total-
have about 5
and-
spots.
okay,
And his
right. So
performances on the pitch when he's come on have been poo. Let's get
okay,
it
so
right.
the whole debate here. Hold on. The old debate here is about Christensen and whether we think he's Chelsea player, he's Chelsea material, right? So
Yeah, by the way, I need to know the rules. What are we
Yeah.
comparing him to, and what's
more than
the
Jarvis,
argument about it? Is he?
So-
is
so
he's,
so Lewis
is
said
he
he's the
starter
second.
for Chelsea. Do
So
you
no,
think-
that's not what Lewis said. Lewis said he was the second best defender in Chelsea, which is laughable.
No, it's not. It's not laughable. It's true.
It's laughable.
No.
He's benched.
Oh, well,
No,
laughable.
hold on a second.
In front of
Are we-
Chalobah.
how-
Chalobah
how-
benches
no.
him.
How far-
Chalobah benches him.
No, he's
I love
not.
how we're
far
pulling
are we going?
everyone's real opinions.
How far
out
are we
now.
going? How far back are
So,
we going?
so
I want to know.
hold
the
on,
rules.
hold on. Let me finish my point about that before I get off it, and then it gets lost, right? And then we started talking about whether do we think Christensen is Chelsea material, right? And the fact of the matter is, there's two ways you can look at it. You can argue about the stats, the eye test, the game, and then you can look at it from a player. Does the player have the Chelsea mentality? Is he a good player for the squad? This is the same guy that put 2 contracts forward, agreed to them contracts, and then like a snake,
Okay,
took
he's
him off the
horrible
table.
human
Hold
being.
on, I'm not
He's
done.
horrible human being, right? Move on. Let's move on. I'm
No.
done with that.
That's you can't.
No. That's
You
not
don't have to
that's-
listen, Redneck. Go on mute.
No,
Mute me. Listen
no,
to some music. But this is part of my debate, and I'm going to use it.
It's not
you
a
don't like
debate.
it.
It's a personal.
You don't like
it's a
it. You
personal.
don't like
it's
it.
not a
Tough.
debate.
Yeah, but it's a personal opinion. Don't like it.
Let him
Tough.
finish.
But the guy is an absolute snake, right? You lot moaned. Everybody moaned about the fact that Drogba went and did a live interview, and he had a bad personality. So many people come in this
His
chat
name
and
is
said,
Lukaku.
Drogba?
No,
Drogba.
your players.
Lukaku. Oh, yeah, sorry. Lukaku.
Please don't ever put
Just
Drogba and
remove-
Lukaku
yeah,
in the
just
same
remove that guy
sentence.
from
What
the
are you
stream.
I'm
doing?
just doing it.
What are you
One
doing?
imagine.
Remove this guy from the stream immediately. He called Lukaku Drogba. Remove him.
Nah,
Remove him
Drogba's-
immediately.
That's
Sorry,
strike
guys.
2. First you said Duncan Christensen are the same player. Now you call Lukaku Drogba. That's
I
strike 2.
stand by that. I stand by it. I think Christensen is a little bit better, but my point being is I think you can take both out of the team and put Dunk in, and I think we still have
Right.
the same response. I think we have the same team, the same
I've got
goals.
a better question for Redneck and Lewis. All right, what is it that Christensen has? All right, what is the attribute that you think Christensen has that none of the other defenders have? What is it that he brings to the table? Go on.
I just feel more
Good one.
safer when he's on the ball as opposed to any of our other centre backs. The guy never has to go. Can I finish my point?
The funny
sorry.
part is this is such a fake laugh. It's not even funny.
You
The laugh
know
itself
those
is so
ones. This
fake.
guy is the fakest
It's
reactions
fascinating,
in
man.
the
I know.
damn world.
It's
This
almost
guy's
as,
the fakest reactions
it's
ever.
exactly.
Like Rudiger, I will give a lot of credit to because his timing for tackles has improved levels compared to what it was the last few years. But the fact he has to go to slide tackles all the time still worries me. The only thing I'll take into account is that he's now a lot better at them than he was before. AC never has to do them. Barely has to make tackles. He's always in the right position, and then it's a simple pass to recycle possession every single time. He is a
West
safe
Ham goal.
defender. He's a secure defender. That's why I
The West
don't
Ham
have to
goal.
worry about him.
The
What?
West Ham goal. You literally said earlier the West Ham goal. Bowen, he took a shot. Yeah, it was a good shot. Christensen should have blocked it. He didn't. So you're right. But maybe if he did make a slide or he did go to the
maybe
tackle,
if
that don't
Rudiger
happen.
didn't get spun by Bowen before that, he wouldn't have been in the position for the shot. But we moved.
Okay, that's a fair argument. But then surely, as a covering defender, his job is to make the tackle or make the block, which he did.
Surely, as
Silva
a
is the next covering
defender, Rudiger's job was to not let Bowen go past him.
It was Thiago Silva, the next defender, and then Christensen.
He hasn't got the intelligence. He hasn't got the best intelligence in our defense. That's Thiago Silva. So don't even
Matt,
go.
are you gonna answer me?
Yeah.
Who's the second to cover for Rudiger? Was that Christensen or was it Thiago Silva?
Well, you got to look at the play, haven't you? So it depends on the play.
No. Hold on a second.
This had no intelligence.
This is why you're proving my point. You just
look. You can't turn around and say, "Oh, because Thiago Silva's the one in the centre, he should have been the one covering." He could have. I can't remember exactly, but he could have been covering a run.
What if Bowen will pass it to? What if Bowen will pass it to the far post instead of taking a shot, and Christensen wasn't there, and he was gonna be supposed to be covering for Rudiger? Then you will say that he was not in his position.
No, because the argument would be is Bowen was in a better position to score a goal. The argument would be is if they had the choice of letting Bowen shoot, who was direct on goal, or letting him pass it across the box where then there's an angle which gives the keeper a better chance.
You're moving in the circles, man.
You're just talking blind, man. If somebody has a clean shot on goal, or passes it to an angle, they should always pass it to the angle.
This is just literally the stupidest point ever. Because Rudiger got on, Christensen fault, the ball went between after the shot, it went between them. You just literally saying that.
If Christensen didn't have the spell that he had under Tuchel, that period
it's
where he
not
was very good, what would this argument be about? Because that is really all you've got really for me to stand on with Christensen. He was not at any.
So you're talking about if he didn't have that spell under Tuchel, what player would he be?
Well, I don't think you. Yeah, because prior
copy and paste Antonio. Copy and paste Rudiger, please.
Prior to that, but Rudiger played well when he first came to Chelsea.
Rudiger was our worst defender under Frank Lampard.
Injured? No, because
Rudiger was our worst defender under Lampard. Yes, he was. 1920 Rudiger was horrific. And I'm saying that knowing that Christensen was horrific that season too, and all of
I think argumentatively they were. I think they were. I don't think any of them were great that season.
No, I agree that none of them were great. But
none of them were great that season. But we spent half the season. We spent half the season waiting for Rudiger to come back, saying he was going to be the one to put some safety back into defense. He came in and he was worse than a lot of them. So they were all bad.
No, you, Jem, you asked me a question. You asked us.
If he left,
Jem, let me ask you.
He's not as important. He can go, and we could replace him quite comfortably.
Here's my question. Here's how I see it. If I know who's your favorite dishes. It's his French player plays at Valencia, right? That's the person
Sevilla.
You want, right?
Kunde.
Sevilla, yeah. You want Kunde, right? Jem, that's the reason.
Go on.
You say I'm just to put you the level of my view of Christensen. Kunde, not even level of tying Christensen's shoes. That's how I see it. Do you understand that?
So that's a good view to have, and I think
exactly. Let me finish my point.
But you can't talk about a player that's
my finish my point.
Let him finish.
First of all, Christensen did not only play in the Premier League. Christensen played in the Bundesliga, and he was the best defender in the Bundesliga at the times when the Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund was the best.
Gem, I've got this. Let him go.
No, you've got nothing. You got shit. You saying he was worse than Dunk. So you already got nothing. But anyway,
you can argue with you finished or you go in.
I laughed at this, didn't you? Go on. Anyway, go on. Let's go.
What I'm saying is, the Christensen's best attributes are that he actually, like Azpilicueta, he does not get beat one-on-one. His technical abilities are better than both of those guys. Thiago Silva is too old to get those battles. When he was younger, he was better. But now, if the player runs at him, neither Rudiger, neither Thiago Silva will actually do it. They're gonna have to get to the tackle. That's it.
And that's true declared. Yeah, I remember that one as well. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so
What do you mean? No, wait, declare, because no, because the one thing that he was pretending, because he was pretending to be in pain apparently, and John Terry even came out and said he should have got up. Well, John Terry was wrong because he got up and played the rest of the game, aggravated the injury that he had, and he was out for a month. So he wasn't pretending to be in pain, and he should have come off. But go on.
There's always an excuse for him.
Well,
okay.
What do you mean there's an excuse? He was literally out afterwards.
The argument is he should have got up and then he should have been probably subbed off. But the point being is he didn't need to go down like a sack and make a meal of it. He could have stayed on his feet.
I'm sorry.
Could have stayed on his feet.
If you get injured on the football,
that is not an injury. That is not an injury. You even said, hold on. You said, hold on. You said that he played on and aggravated it. It was the aggravation that made him out for weeks, not the initial injury. Like he could have got up, he could have manned up a little bit and got on with it.
It was aggravation.
But hold on. So he could have got up, he could have carried on to a potentially have stopped that goal from happening, and then he could have probably got subbed off and we replaced it.
So he could have got up and aggravated it. Is that what you're saying?
But he didn't aggravate it within the first 5 minutes. He aggravated it with another chance that happened.
It at the right time for you. That's what it is.
Look, you can change the comment to suit your agenda, but it doesn't
work. His problem is that he didn't get up and aggravate his injury at the right time. What are you talking about?
Okay, so when did he aggravate it? Because he aggravated it in a challenge that happened about 15 minutes later. Afterwards. No, he aggravated it from a challenge that happened about 10-15 minutes afterwards, which was even confirmed
he was playing on for the whole game.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Say what you want, but he still did it 10-15 minutes afterwards. So he didn't need to be on the floor wailing around
How do you know the specific point in the game where he re-aggravated it?
Because Tuchel said it in the press conference. He said he had an initial
manager then. It was Chelsea Villa under Lampard.
Okay, I'm on about the wrong game then, mate. Bad for me.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what you're on about.
He completely, man. I'm telling you, he calls Lukaku Drogba.
That's strike 3. By the way,
well, I can still get my point. That was about it. I thought it was the injury that he had. The other injury. I thought it was. So my point being is though. So even if we say that's wrong,
you don't have
shut up a second. Let me talk. Right, my point being is shut up a second. So all your stats, all your statistics, every positive comment you've had to say about him so far that I can gather you've got a little bit of evidence for was for last season. But yet he's doing fuck all this season. So,
you're talking about stats when it comes to Christensen, despite him having the least.
The question is, in the present time, how good has he been? How good has he been this season?
This season,
I've told you, he's had one bad game against Zenit, and that's it for me.
And you think he's our second best defender based on what you've seen up to present now? Yeah, is that your argument?
From everything I've seen over the last year, yes. It's not just this season. He's continued the form from this season, from last season into the Euros and into this season.
But he doesn't
get the guy is 25
because of contract negotiations.
So
why is that not getting through to you?
His performances have put him on the bench. His performance.
He has had one bad game. We are going round in circles. You're saying he doesn't play because of the contract negotiations.
But then surely the contract argument is part of him being at the club.
What do you mean? You're talking about his performances on the pitch, not the contract negotiations off it.
So I thought we're talking about whether he's a Chelsea caliber player.
How's the contract negotiations got anything to do with
no. So the argument is if he wasn't a bell messing around with his contract, right? Your argument is the only reason he was benched was because of his contract. The argument is that he has acted dirty like a snake around his contract, which has led to that.
So that's his attitude. That you're emotional about the contract situation, which is fine.
It's true though. You've got to take a player as a whole.
But just agree that you're emotional because of the contract situation.
You just defend him too much, man. How can you defend him against that when we're moaning about Lukaku?
Because everyone's like, oh, his performances have dipped since the negotiation off the back of one performance.
I see you coming, I see you coming, Declare. Rudiger is performing because this is Rudiger less contract. This is not Christensen less contract. Christensen is 25.
So the thing is, I got no issue with him negotiating a contract, right? No issue whatsoever. When he was doing that at the start, I had his back, and I didn't really dislike him too much. But he agreed to 2 contracts.
He agreed to 2. You need to stop saying about the contract. It's not up to us. We're talking about the player. We're not talking about
okay. So let me get this right. Hold on. Let me get this right.
I agree. He deserves what he gets. I agree with you.
So then you can't use the comment that he isn't starting because of his contract. That can't be part of the debate.
It is literally the debate
It
because
is
Tuchel said
exactly.
it in his press
In press
conference.
conference.
He said he was not
Because he had
playing
poor
because of the
form.
contract.
He wasn't as good as Chalobah
So
this season. That is
he's
why.
nowhere near as good as Chalobah this season, and
That is it.
Chalobah has
That
a
is
better
it.
scope.
Oh my God!
Facts.
It's like talking to the wall.
Yeah,
it's like talking to the wall.
But
So
saying the
no,
same
no.
thing
Listen,
over
listen
and
to
over
listen to
again.
this. Listen what Matt just said. Matt just said. So literally, we depending this season on the guy's contract, but we're not allowed to talk to. And we said yes, and he's like, well, then Chalobah is better. What the fuck is that has to do with anything?
Well, actually, I was replying to Gem. Gem said that Chalobah's a better player, and I was agreeing with him. So it was part of a different comment. But you can listen to what you want. That's fine. But that's not the response that I had for that. Gem said Trevor is a better player, and then my comment was Trevor is. So I was agreeing with his comment, not talking about the previous one.
I agree with that he was benched for his contract because Tuchel came out and said
He literally said it.
It was
Is
partly
it? Yeah,
to do-
true.
But it is true, and there's nothing wrong with saying it isn't.
Right, so don't say Chalobah benched Christensen
it is-
because of
no, but
quality when it
is
wasn't
also
that.
as well. Because if Chalobah wasn't playing to the level that he has been, which is over exceeding, he wouldn't make this team. Which means
And
Christensen
Chalobah wouldn't be
have
having
more
those
at his
extra
start anyway.
opportunities if it
But he
wasn't
would-
for Christensen's
Lewis, he'd
contract
be starting
negotiation.
anyway, bro. That's what I'm saying to you. He would just come in the team because we don't have anything there. The fact that he's been
But the
playing as long as he
opportunity
has-
that he's had for more game time has come off the bat of Christensen's negotiations, not his form.
and that
Okay,
was in
even-
January.
Even if you want to agree with
Okay.
that, even if that's your point of view and you think that's the case, and there's no way Trevor would have broke in over Christensen, you're arguing points that you just can't confirm because we don't know how it would have gone. My argument would be is that Trevor has 3 years on Andreas Christensen, but yet I do not feel he is 3 years development wise behind him. I feel like he's way closer than that.
If you
So-
actually really think of
Fair
that,
enough.
I have-
You believed after 3 months
Yeah.
of form and no dip.
yeah,
Yeah, all right, cool.
that's if you believe
I
that.
would have thought Christensen had a better development at the start of 17-18 of his first 3 months.
So sad. This is so sad that the guy makes judgment on the player based on 3 months that he played for Chelsea over the guy who actually been at Chelsea, and you making that assumption.
But I'm
Matt-
playing it on form. I'm doing it on form.
Right,
This
then I
season.
would have said Christensen at the start of 17-18 was the best centre-back in the world because in those 3 months of form, I saw more consistent performances than other players had in 7 years. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, no, but
How
that's
does that
that's
make
fine.
sense?
Yeah, no, but that makes fine. But Christian didn't live up to them expectations. You can only judge a
Yes,
situation on the
because
here
then
and
he
now.
had dips in form, which happens when you're developing. Chalobah will have those as well, where he needs to be challenged. Wait until he has a bad run of form and see how he reacts to it first.
He already
Okay,
had the
that's
bad run
if-
of forms. He already
Yeah,
had the bad run of forms.
Liverpool was one bad game. That's not form. That's a bad performance. Here's what it is.
That's not the only
That's not a
one.
run.
Yeah,
My
no, I
view
need to see a run.
is Andreas Christensen, as long as that he's been at Chelsea and whether he leaves or not, is nowhere near a Chelsea great compared to Gary Cahill, David Luiz. He doesn't get nowhere near any of them defenders.
Well,
for me.
Cahill and
you-
Luiz's stories are over right now. So
Yeah,
you
He's
can
but
say
better
whatever you
defender
want.
than
but They
David
all have,
Luiz.
when you
That's a
compare
fact.
their
they
period,
all have
even though it's a
multiple
long
trophies
period,
and they all have
He's
big
be-
performances as well.
It doesn't matter.
He is
Christensen's
better
been in how
defender
many seasons?
one-on-one than David Luiz will ever be.
Yes, I
That's
agree with
big
that.
facts. That's big.
I
I
agree with that.
that. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Oh,
that
I'm,
doesn't
I'm
make him
so
an
happy because I was looking for your ass approvals.
No. But the point being is that doesn't make him an overall better defender.
It doesn't overall better
It
player.
does.
It doesn't. It does.
Well, the argument is how often in our games do we normally have a defender that's one-on-one?
What's his name? Aspilicueta. What's his best attributes?
You answer my question, then I'll answer yours. How often do we get a game where it's a one-on-one at the back for
What do
us?
you mean? How often?
In a game, how often
Okay.
you keep saying Christensen's the best in a one-on-one situation, and
Mhm.
you know, I'm not even going to argue it because I do think he is very good in them situations.
So do I.
My argument would be is them situations do not occur enough to justify him going in over other defenders.
How did
Because
we
I-
get scored against?
But then
last
if you're
game
saying
against-
how many 1v1s does he get into,
No,
the same
no.
thing goes to all of them.
No,
the game, the team that we played yesterday, which way did they score the equalizer?
Man, who are you talking about?
Man
Man
City,
No,
Yeah.
no, not City. Before City, what's the?
Who did we play Man City before Man City? Tottenham.
No, the other one, the league game.
Liverpool.
No.
So this is my point though, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, and I'm not saying he doesn't stop goals, because one-on-one situations he would stop goals, and I'm saying in certain situations he would be good to have there. But the argument would be is that still doesn't justify him being in the team. The argument is like Man City with Stones. They know Stones is going to cause an issue where he's going to misplay a pass, he's going to get tackled, it's going to lead to a goal opportunity. Just because that one attribute doesn't take away all his other beneficial attributes. Christensen's great at one-on-one situations, but for me, he's average in all the other situations, which doesn't make up.
Like what? No, name them. Name them. Which ones?
Okay, so aerial battles.
Wins most of his aerial battles.
He doesn't. But you'll probably say statistics are rubbish here, but the argument is he's lost the most aerial battles of 32.
Well, every time I see him in an aerial battle, he's winning it. This is why I say it's 50% stats, 50% eye test, and don't make your whole bet based on stats.
Okay, that's fine. If you want to go eye test and stats, right, I'll go that. So I'll say stats, he loses, hands down, he's the worst. But he does make, but I'll give him credit.
The least games played.
I'll give him credit. But surely that's worse. If he's losing more in less games, then that's worse.
But I'm telling you, the majority of the time that I'm seeing him, he's not losing these aerial duels.
That's your eye test, though, isn't it? Compared to
yes, and I'm going off the performances that I see off the pitch, not what a bunch of numbers tell me. I'm going off what I see on the pitch.
Yeah,
and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You want to go performance on the pitch? You want to go performance on the pitch and go headers from what you see? Most of them he's winning. Okay, you want to believe that? That's fine. Right? I'll argue though that Rudiger wins most of them from my eye test. Thiago Silva wins
a lot of his too. No one said he didn't. No one said he didn't.
But this is my point. Like, you're asking why I don't think because I do agree. One-on-one situations, he's one of the best. Right? I'm not arguing that. Do you think he's good? I think he's really good at holding up play as well. But for me, all the other attributes, he's all right.
Yeah, you still haven't said the things that he's average at. You've only said aerial.
So I'm saying, So aerial duels is what's classed as, for me, he's average at.
What else?
He's blocking.
Oh, no, you're not going to judge Christensen's blocks. I'm done. I'm so finished. I'm being trolled. I'm being 100% trolled. Man said Christensen's bad at average at blocks. That's one of his best attributes.
Well, that's not saying a lot then, is it? That's my point. If your eye test is telling you that's great.
Gets in the way of a shot. God forbid.
Thiago Silva is the best at blocking, by the way. He's the man.
By the way, part of taking a shot, it means that he has to pass the player to take a shot. But he ain't passing it easy.
Not for a block. A block is where they're taking a shot and it's in between the goal and the ball.
Blocks is still wrong in my opinion. What else?
Well, would you want to go interceptions? Like, you pick a stat. I tell you what, you pick the stat, and I'll tell you where he falls.
You're the one telling me what you think he's average at. I want to hear what you think he's average at.
And I'm telling you, pretty much everything else. I think he's all right on the ball with his feet.
You're not You're just generalizing it. Tell me what. Go into detail.
So interceptions, he's not as good as the others we have.
Yeah, don't agree, but go on. What else?
Okay, so that's my opinion. Yeah, clearances in general, not really great.
Because he doesn't clear the ball, he plays it out.
And I agree. That is a twisted stat because he is better on the ball with his turn.
You brought it up and you said he was average at that one, which again proves the agenda. What next? What's next?
Can I give my eye test or my reason behind it?
Go on.
Well, you call him dunk, so your eye test needs to be rechecked too, especially when you call Lukaku Drogba. You definitely need to check your eye test. Well.
What's your next comment? In 2017 he was really a good talent. Live in the now. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is now
he's 25.
He doesn't clear the ball when he should clear the ball, in my opinion. And yes, okay, you can say he's good on the ball when he passes out. Okay, but then he should have an argument. Okay, fair enough. But how many times has he passed the ball? And to be fair, this is eye test. I don't have stats for this. But there's so many times where I've seen him pass the ball out where he's put it into a not great position, or where I'm thinking he should just boot it, and he doesn't.
Lack of concentration.
Lack of concentration. Times where he should clear it and he doesn't, which means we get hemmed in.
So you're saying his ball playing ability is poor too?
No, see, here's where I said I'm saying
you're wording it differently, but it sounds like that's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying his decision making is probably a better way of phrasing it.
Playing out the back because it's your decision making on the ball,
which is decision making. Which is
he should be clearing it.
He's literally digging himself a bigger hole. He proves
How is it?
You have said Christensen's blocking is poor, his interceptions are poor, and his ball playing ability is poor.
So here's where you're changing it.
I think watching.
I said he's below
But his eye
average
test
at
is
the
good
Redders.
though.
Below
His
average.
Rudiger is
You
better.
think it's poor and it's not Chelsea.
So I'm
standard.
saying we have
about?
better. I'm saying we have better, which is fact. Rudiger's better, Silva is better, and I'd say 50% of these, Trevor is better.
At the most, they're better at long passes because Christensen rarely attempts the long pass. He goes for the shorter pass on the ground, which is why I also say Christensen and Silva offer you two different things. I think we played the ball out at the back better, and this isn't a slight at Thiago Silva. I think we played the ball out at the back better under Christensen because he plays it on the back on the ground to Jorginho and Kovacic, whereas Silva sprays it to the wings where we struggle to deal with it afterwards. He doesn't clear. And
I say that since we've had our wing, do you know, that's going to be an opinion. I disagree.
Believe that.
Well, I'm looking at some sort of stat here. I don't know who sent me this, but someone sent me a stat on Christian. It's good to see it because, to be honest, some of it backs up what Lewis is saying, some of it backs up what Matty K's saying as well from what I'm listening to. But
I didn't say shit, right? Yeah, I'm just here to be pretty.
But no, I'm just talking about.
Go on, we're going to criticize his shooting next, aren't we?
No, we're not talking about his shooting. No, of course we're not. All right. In terms of, let's have a look. Passes attempt. I always thought he's a pretty decent passer, right? So he's at 92.3% completion of his passing. His passing stats are all pretty good. Like he has no issues with his passing. His touches at the penalty box. That's what that is, isn't it? Touches at penalty. In the tag, right? That's fine. Forget that. That doesn't even matter.
That's attacking.
Progressive passing when he receives the ball is what was this half? His tackles are only that's quite low.
You just said Christensen doesn't need to tackle most of the time.
His blocks are average
because of the other defenders around him.
On the player is average.
No, because he never slides. He just takes the ball and recycles it.
All that what it is, Green, which is weird because Aerials 1, they think. I mean, his Aerials 1's pretty good.
Look,
I don't know
Jim, do you want to know what I actually don't like from Christensen? My personal, I don't like. I think he's bad at offensively heading the ball. Like in the box when he's at the corner.
I agree with that. Yeah, he needs.
That's the only
I don't see a lot of presence with him there. Yeah, I agree. Fair enough.
That's the only thing I really disagree. I don't like from Christensen. His offensive awareness in the corners. When we have the corners, he's not good at it. For some reason,
if anything, I don't even see him at the box sometimes. Exactly. He stays the furthest defender back.
Sitters, though, I remember. I used to be like, and I know he wouldn't score it because it's Christensen. He's just so bad in scoring a goal with his head. Like, I know he scored a couple of goals recently, but they're only like.
Yeah, I remember Spurs away a few years ago in the League Cup. Yeah. I think our best chance at Wembley was a header, and he just skied it from about 2 yards.
Aggressive passing, he's good, man.
This system. I think the way that we currently play actually suits him. It brings the best out of him because it is moving forward with the ball, passing progressively forward, which I think is his strengths. I think he likes getting the ball. He's comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's comfortable with moving the ball around. I just think that when I think about his overall game, I think it's from, if you base it on last season and the form that he was in under Tuchel, it was very good. There was not much he did wrong. My biggest question mark with him, and wasn't only with him, was just the consistency part of it. I just
what
don't
about
think
Rudiger? Do you have same problem with Rudiger?
I don't think he's as consistent as he. If you're a great defender, if you're Thiago, but we're talking about Christensen right now, so I know what you're saying.
Well, you have to compare him to somebody.
No, but we're talking Christensen. I get what you're saying. Rudiger, I agree, the same. All right, but. He hasn't. The difference from great defenders is being consistent and holding your position and being played and all of these stuff. And I just don't think that he's looked at as a player that has to start in this team. I don't. I look at him more as someone that comes on and
rotation.
He gets his chance. He gets a couple of games, but he never holds his position. Why can't he hold his position since he's been at Chelsea? That's my question.
So the thing is with me is with this is I think he is a good squad player, and I think he'd be a good squad player for any team. I just do not think he is starting material. I think he starts probably in our current selection. I don't know whether Trev starts over him or not, if they're both fit, both competing, and the contracting isn't happening in the background. I think it's debatable, and I do think that's a real debate. My argument being is when I look at him and think of a Chelsea backline, a Chelsea defender, do I think we could do better? I do. I think there is better players out there that would do exactly what he's doing, but they do it with the right attitude. And actually, you know, I feel like they would bring more to the club as a whole. And I know you can't say attitude and you can take the attitude out of it, but I think when you're looking at the player as a whole, you have to take into consideration his attitude and the way he is. And not only that, I try and think to myself is, and I'd ask this question to you, and you might have different opinions. If you were a striker in the Premier League, would you be shaking your boots at playing against Andreas Christensen? Or we use Rudy, because I know a load of people like using Rudy as an example here. Or would you be more worried about playing against Rudiger? And I think
they'd be more worried about Rudiger because he's more aggressive.
And that's better for the team then, because my argument would be there is if a striker is worried about a defender, you've already got a mental edge. I don't think people come into the game and go, "Oh no, it's Christensen. I need to worry." I don't think you're Jamie Vardy.
Okay, so he doesn't. So he doesn't have attackers quaking in their boots. That still doesn't change the fact that he drops 7 out of 10 minimum performances in every game. So, what? Rudiger's just a more aggressive centre back, and fair enough. Like no one's taking that away from him and saying that Christensen's better than that. That's his personality. That's the player that he is.
Do you remember
anything why they're so good together?
Do you remember Gary Cahill when he came in? Did anybody ooh? Do you remember them?
Or David Luiz.
Or David Luiz.
He held his position. Or
Aspilicueta.
Yeah, and so did Christensen. He held his position.
He done it for a long time, you know. He was always
because his story's done now. We can say that AC's story isn't done yet.
Yeah, fine. But what I'm saying is, since he's been at this football club, yes, barring that Tuchel period, he's not managed to cement himself as a main focal point of the defense.
He literally had cemented himself. The only difference was the contract negotiations.
I'm not even being harsh here. I don't think. I don't think he has.
He literally had. Silva wasn't getting into the team for a period because of him.
Keep using little bits all the time, little moments.
So I think you could
little moments. Since Tuchel's come in and Silva got injured against Spurs, Christensen's been in the lineup for most of the games.
So Lewis, I'll give you this. Why couldn't he hold it this season? I'll give Lewis this.
Nick, you're not listening.
Lewis,
you might have it or not. That's the facts.
Let me go out. Let me go out, right? Because you can't argue. You don't know what would have been.
This debate is going in circles now.
Yeah. CFC time, you're spitting.
Yeah, right. So my point is this. Agreed, you don't know whether Trevor would have got into the starting team over Christensen without the contract issues. But the fact of the matter is, it happened, and then Trevor, I think we can all agree, overperformed and made himself undroppable.
Yes, he missed two games because after those 2 games, Trevor got injured. Yeah, I am telling him. After those 2 games, but also there was games before that where no one was speaking about the contract negotiations. Declared's talking about the 2 games from when Tuchel had the press conference.
He got corona
and after those 2 games, Trevor got injured. We were in an injury crisis and we were forced to bring him back. So you can't use that to say, it was only 2 games. He only got brought back because we were forced to.
Chalobah's performances.
Musa Kumalo, you need to be quiet. He's still Chelsea player. When he's going to be wearing Barcelona jersey, then you'll talk. Until then, get in a bin.
So the thing is, and I'll state this, and I've said this from the beginning, I don't think Christensen's a bad player. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good squad player.
I hate that saying.
I
think he's a good player, but you think he's a bad player. That's all.
No, but I don't, because I think attributes-wise, I said our best back 5 I think he's all right. I still think Rudiger and Silva are miles above. I genuinely do. And I still think that for the type of player we could get better in.
And I understand that. Like I've said, you can have a debate over Silva, Rudiger, and Christensen, and any answer you give is fair. It's completely fair. Right, I personally think Christensen. You can personally think Rudiger. They're both very high-quality defenders who have been performing excellently this year. You can pick whichever one you want. You don't have to pick one or the other and be right or wrong. They've both been amazing.
It's just because you run with it like as if he's Thiago Silva. That's all it is more so. I guess,
you're the one that's saying he's top 2 in the club, which means you're dropping Rudy or Silva behind him.
I think he's top 2 in the club, which is my opinion. You think Rudiger's top 2, which is your opinion. And that's perfectly fine to have. The quality of our defenders is so high that you could pick any of those 3, in my opinion, and you'd be entitled to do it.
Okay,
the funny part is no. Hold on a second, man. The funny part is you will not actually compare Christensen to Rudiger. What pissed me off is you compared him to Chalobah, and that's why it
pissed
me off.
And I said here,
that's when I lost anything that you're saying, it went literally for 1 year, and the one that I actually had the surgery 2 days ago, it just spit it out because there is complete nonsense.
So my argument, and again, my standpoint will always be on the here and now. If you're looking for, if a manager was to come in tomorrow, do I think they'd start Christensen or Trevor? They'd start Christensen. His experience is going to outweigh the factor, and Trevor is an unknown entity. But if you were to take it on the here and now, Trevor's recent form before he got injured was outstanding. And for me, he was undroppable. At that period of time, I don't think Christensen would have got in over Rudiger and Silva. Now, I know Lewis is saying that he only got in the team because of contracts, and you're right, wrong, whatever, that doesn't really matter. My point being is, when he was on form, he was undroppable. Because we haven't seen him dip in form, or we haven't seen him from that point lose that form, my argument stands that if they were all fit at this moment in time and it was the situation, I think Trevor gets in over Christensen. Because if not, he should have got in sooner. I do agree. Christensen's probably got more experience. He's probably going to be relied on more in the big games. But I still think that based on what we've seen on Trevor, he has great potential. And I think he will elapse Christensen.
It's not. Can I just say something? When you talk about a player, it doesn't mean that you're always slating or you're always, But like I know, like Johnny's a very protector.
He called Christensen worse than Dunk. So
I mean, Jeff talking about not slandering Christensen.
But no, but you
it's like Arsenal fans saying they're relevant.
No, but you can give. He treats everything as slander anyway, Lewis. It doesn't matter what you say. If it's anything against Christensen, it's class as slander. But I want to move from the topic. We're staying on topic. I want to move from the question because we are going around in circles. I really want to answer this one.
Oh, I didn't know.
I did not notice that either.
I didn't know that.
I want to get away from it. Yeah, let's just get onto this one. Does he?
Are you rapping now?
Do you know what I mean? My head's going around in circles. Right. Anyway, listen, Christensen. Would you class him as one of the Chelsea great defenders?
Of all time.
Can I answer this? Can I go first?
When we talk about the Chelsea defenders, and
can I go first on that?
Go on. Yeah, let Red go. Let Rushman go first.
So here's my view on it. The history is not. It's not a history yet. He's still 25. He's still development. If he signs with Chelsea, I think he has a potential to be one of the greatest. Actually, I'm telling you, the reason nobody's comparing him to the John Terry. Nobody. If you do, it's on you.
He did. Even at one point.
What I'm saying is, he's still in the progress.
You said that he gives you Christensen and Terry vibes on Twitter.
Vibes, yes. I see where he can be at.
He's nowhere near that.
Not where he's at now.
He's nowhere near that fucking
Not where he's at now.
Yeah,
anyway, as I was saying, his things at the club, it's not over yet until he signs a new contract or he goes away. But I'm telling you, if he stays at Chelsea, he will be a better player. And he could be one of the greatest. But he ain't no freaking Chalaba level. You freaking morons who thinks that is.
So
no, you're not coming back from that, Matt. No.
You can say I'm not. You got your opinion. I got my opinion. My argument
not
is
opinion. You stated that's not opinion. You
can state. I think in 3 years' time, if you was to compare where Trevor will be and where Christensen is now, I think Trevor will be better. And that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can think the development isn't there.
That's fair. What you just said, that's fair.
Right. Now, what I will say is, and again, I've said it all the way through this, I do dislike Christensen, and it's mainly because of the way his attitude is and his contract talk.
1 hour 4, and now we have the real opinion.
No, I've always said it.
Fraudulent slip there, bro.
I said it. I dislike
like Steven Gerrard.
I dislike the player. I dislike anybody that tries to take the piss out of the club, right? And for me, that is always going to be my standpoint, whether people agree with it or not. Now, they might not see this contract situation in the same way I do, and I know we're all going to look at it differently, just like how everybody looked at the Lukaku press conference differently. The difference that I think for me is with this is
put Rams chat on.
But these film warrant him being called one of the best under 23 centre backs in the world.
See, this is the point, though. I'm not saying Trevor's the greatest now. I'm saying that I think he has great potential, which is no different to Russian saying that he thinks if Christian stays with the club, he could be a great of all time. Because we're both talking about what we think the development will be. So the argument, I feel, is justified to say my point there.
Matt,
and there's no argument.
He's 25. Christensen, he's 25. He already been the best defender in Bundesliga. He already won the Premier League. He already won the Championship League. He single-handedly won us at pretty much the Europa League because he was one of the best defenders in that tournament. And you put in his name beside Dunk. How fucking dare you? Or beside Chalaba. As much as I like Chalaba, how fucking dare you do that?
Hold on. Because when you keep saying
Zuma
besides
over AC. All right.
My argument is I still think Trevor.
I do love Zuma, man. I love Zuma.
I
love Zuma, but he just didn't fit the system. But I love Zuma.
So to go to my question, do I think Andreas Christensen could be world class?
That's true.
I think ability-wise with Andreas Christensen is potential. I don't think he can. I'm not sure. Is my honest answer. Could he be as good as the greats? He potentially could. The one thing that worries me, and I'll state it because I do think mentality, and look at the argument is with Lukaku, he's always had a shit mentality when it comes to pressure, is Andreas is 25 and he's already pissed off the club and handling a contract situation like a fucking dummy. Like,
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
If he continues with that attitude for the next 3, 4, 5 years, I don't think he will become a great because we've already seen how it affects him.
What about Chalaba's brother? How good was he when he first came on the scene for Chelsea?
He was great.
He's now.
Did he make? Yeah, no, that's fair. But not every player is going to make it. You can't look at it that way. Like we all thought Ruben Loftus-Cheek was going to be the next big thing, but he's not.
Yeah, that's true. But Rudiger has been based on form and potential. You could argue.
Dimitri Payet at West Ham, we all thought he was world class and going to go to one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he died off. Like, there's always going to be these players that do really fantastic and then die off.
Yeah,
some of them won't.
No, Matt, but that's the whole point. Rudiger, Christensen been in different places. Christensen already been in different places. He played not only at
17-18.
Yeah, but you're still. I'm not saying he isn't a good player.
Just take an L, man. Just take an L.
No, because I'm understand my point. But what am I taking an L on? I said he's a good player, and I said ability-wise,
he's a good player, but I hate him. He's a good player.
Yeah,
but he's a bitch.
You can appreciate a footballer, but not like them.
But his tackles are bad. He's a good player. But his
he's not a great.
Are bad.
For me, he's not. He's a good player.
But
not great.
His shots on target. My God.
But he's not great, is he? He's not great. That's the argument. And he's not as good as Silva and Rudiger.
He's not great. Anyway, let's go on to Lewis. Lewis, that's a silly question to ask you, but is he going to make it into one of the great defenders if he stays at Chelsea? Do you feel?
If he stays at Chelsea, I see no reason why not. But if you're going to ask the question of right now, no. Right now, he's not there yet. It's the same for basically all of our defenders except maybe Thiago Silva.
Yeah, I hear that. For me, Thiago Silva is just worlds apart. For me, I think he's that important in our defence. I think he has to play.
Yes, and Matthew Lewis Benjamin, you're right. He did individual award in Bundesliga.
Lewis did an AC win an individual award back in Germany.
Yeah,
sure. If he did or didn't, but to be honest, I'll keep the same energy. I don't feel like in many ways I've had much of my answers here. To be honest, I expected it to go the way it did anyway. This is what I expected. I didn't expect to get
you
any
just
real answers,
took L.
No, not really.
You knew you're going to take an L.
No one's proven my shit wrong. Maybe from the way I feel about it. To be honest, and I hold it.
I feel like we have. You just have your opinion.
No,
it's
really.
opinion.
I think you've been caught out a little bit.
I hope you didn't take nothing personal. I was just messing.
No, mate. I'm good with the banter. I'm good with it.
Anyway, it's a debate.
First time on a debate, so I've got a few of my
Hey,
My plans
English is
mixed
not my
up.
first language either. So
Listen,
No,
for
for
me,
me-
I keep saying it. Consistency is key, and it's goes for all of our
Please.
players. When I think about him as a Chelsea player and how long since he's been at Chelsea to now, do I think he's had a massive impact?
you can
in
put the
getting-
poll. You can start the poll. Who won the
Basically,
debate?
do I think he's had a massive impact in getting in this squad and cementing himself and showing us why he should be counted for? No, I can only think about the period under Tuchel when he came in, and I'll be honest, in that period he was very, very good. We went on to win the Champions League. We didn't concede many goals. We were winning games 1-0, and he was a part of the reason why that happened. However, for me, and I did say that it's good to see, but I need to see that continue. And when we think about it this season, yes, we can argue contract talks might have swayed his thoughts a little bit, but I do think Trevor Chalobah is opening up a can of worms on it, because the way the guy's performing over his expectations. Let's get right, because we really had no expectations. He's over exceeded what we thought he would be in terms of the way he's played. I do think he's given himself the opportunity to start in this team, which means Christensen hasn't been playing as much, and we can say it's just contract, but I don't think it is. I think it's more than just
Well,
the
I'll
contract.
take Tuchel's
And I
words
just
over
think
yours.
Chalobah has.
You know them
I'll
ones.
take Tuchel's words over yours.
Because
Sorry.
the
Not like
argument, the
Tuchel
argument,
literally said it was because
Literally
of the
said that
contract
he's not
situation.
playing
No, I
because
said
of
it's
contract.
partly to do
Whatever.
with the
You,
contract.
you
But
don't, whatever. Jem doesn't think it is, but it's not like
the
Tuchel said
season
that.
started in August, bro. What are you
So-
doing?
so
Christensen started in August, bro.
No,
so
wait a sec.
hold on, the argument. So even if you want to say it is contracts, right? And I'll be honest, I think he got dropped contracts as well. Not like, but my argument is he got dropped for contracts, which was his own fault for the way he handled the situation. So
100%.
okay, take that out of the situation, right? That's his fault. He got dropped.
Contract, if you know
The
this.
problem that he has
and
is
we can agree on that, but we're not saying it was form because it was not form.
no, you're probably right. You're probably right.
It was
At that
Not
moment in
probably,
time,
it's fact. Tuchel said
Okay,
it. It's
Tuchel
fact.
said
okay.
I'm saying it's
It
a
wasn't form.
maybe or it's not the right opinion or nothing. It's
No.
fact.
I'm agreeing with you. I think if Andreas Christensen didn't have contract issues, Trevor doesn't get the chance that he got. I agree with that. But the argument is he put himself in a position where he got dropped because of how he handled his contract. And then what Trevor did is asked a completely different question, because the way that he performed then put his position under question. And the argument would be, is if he didn't have these contract issues, you're right. Maybe Trevor never gets in the team. Maybe he never gets a run. But Christensen put himself in that situation. He's the one that opened the door for Trevor to get an opportunity to take that position and make it.
No
his.
one's
First
disputing
of
that.
all,
We're
Chalobah's
disputing
supposed
people
to
saying
be
that
on loan.
Chalobah benched him because of form, because
we
that's
go in
not
that
the
far.
case.
He's supposed to be on
I
loan.
remember Christian sitting on a bench, man. But anyway, we move. Go on.
You should start the poll. Who won the debate?
It's not even about that, to be honest,
Just
because
kidding.
for me, it's more it's more of a preference thing. Some people I've seen in the chat people going on about
Totally
know-
understand.
what is he saying?
No, I was just saying, I understand. If you don't want to put a
It's
poll
to
asking who
understand.
won,
You're
it's
gonna
fine.
have
If you don't want to put a poll,
No,
it's
no,
fine.
no, no.
It's fine. You
No.
don't have to put a poll. You don't have
I've
to.
seen a lot
it
of
is
it.
opinion.
No,
It is
Can I
opinions.
ask a question? I want to ask a question.
Opinions. This
It's-
is what I'm
it's
saying.
Jem,
It's
Jem.
personal
Yeah, I
opinions,
understand.
guys.
It's fine, bro. It's fine. I
I
didn't
don't
say
know about your
anything.
stinky
Jem.
agenda over Twitter, and
Jem,
you
let
fall
me
in
say
love
nothing.
falling in
I
love
didn't
with the
say
guy, and you think
Jem.
that you're right.
Jem, let me ask you a
Fine.
question. Let me ask you a question, right? This is to Russian and Lewis, right? And it's just a fair question, right? With the way that Christensen's attitude has been and the way that he's handled these contracts, right? Genuine question. Do you want him to stay at the club, and would you hold any of this against him? Or would you prefer to go out in the market and get somebody else?
Why am I holding my hand up? Let me just say one thing. So attitude. Well, what do you mean by attitude?
So I know you're going to say, people can look at it and say that he's been negotiating, right? But throughout any sort of business terms, negotiation, or whatever you want to hold it, once you agree upon a contract, once you agree, you have your negotiation stage, you agree to a contract, right? That is set. If you then walk away from the table, that's what's called bad faith. They then gave the opportunity and went back to the table. They did it all over again, where they renegotiated and got to a contract that they were both happy with. And he walked away from the table for a second time in bad faith with in regards to it. So that is what I mean by attitude. He's acted in bad faith with the company.
Let me try to properly answer you this question. Here's the situation. As much as I like Christensen and all the Chalaba abuse and stuff, Chalaba actually proved that you can put any name on the list and say, like, you know what, I can fight for the place. And I think Chalaba will do that to Christensen. What I'm trying to say about the contract is the Chalaba maybe made his contract negotiation a little less valuable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. 100%.
You see what I'm saying? So that's one way of thinking. But on a personal level, who am I to decide what contract or not contract Christensen to sign? It's his personal thing. It's the same with Rudiger. Before, Rudiger is thinking about his family, his kids, his wife. He's the one that plays for the builds his future. It's not up to me. The contract aside, it's a dick move. Based on my level, it's a dick move from Christensen for what he did. If he did it the way it was said, it is a dick move, and he was properly placed on the bench. But at the end of the day, it's the human element that he's fighting, because it's his career. I would do the same thing.
Yes, I would keep it. I just answer this really quickly. Someone said, "Would you keep?"
Yes, 100%.
If you want my honest opinion, all this debate aside, I would want them both to stay. I don't want Christensen or Rudiger.
Same,
yeah.
So
and I'm the same as well.
Centre-backs for the next 10
I would
years.
I would be honest with you. I would like to keep them two, because I know Silva and Aspie are going to be gone soon, this year or whatever. Once they're gone, yeah, I would love to have Rudiger, Christensen with the experience there, and throw Koundé in with them. And do you know what I mean? And like build from it from there, because that is the build. That's
maybe saying the next Terry and Carvalho might be a little bit too far.
Thank you for agreeing to that. I agree.
Yeah. But we could have
agree as well.
Terry Carvalho in 5 years' time. We could have Terry. Wait. In 10 years' time, we could have Terry Carvalho and just underneath Christensen Rudiger, and I'll be happy with that. Or maybe they'll be above. You never know. We'll have to wait and see. We're all speculating.
Donation from JJ Bridge. Big up to him. He says, "Lewis, I thought Christensen was your boy, so why does he want to leave so badly? He's making you look bad. I thought he was proper Chelsea, as you said."
Well, I think Russian covered that answer.
Let Lewis answer it. Matty, one second. Let Lewis answer it quickly. Go on.
Right now, we're still in the negotiation stage, so it could be either or. He could leave. He could stay. It is what it is. But if he really wasn't proper Chelsea, he would have left a few years back. He could have left in 2019, 2020. No one would have even noticed.
You know how bad people want. You know how bad Pep wanted him after the German Mönchengladbach loan. You know how bad Pep wanted him.
He was a high commodity. Everybody wanted him. He was, and I'm not disputing. I'm not disputing that back in the day he wasn't brilliant.
I know that.
And I think he is a good player, and I think you'd keep him all. And I think I'll be honest, Russian. I think you hit the nail on the head with saying why he's negotiating the contract. And I've got no issues with him not signing a contract or trying to get his best deal. I think the thing for me is the bad faith of agreeing to a deal. Not once, but twice, and walking away from the table, because that's different to negotiations.
Dick move.
Yeah, it's, for me, at least Rudiger has done it in the proper way, and that's why I'm not too fussed about Rudiger's negotiations.
Did you notice that the Rudiger all of a sudden agrees less contract than the original ask from Chelsea? So that's kind of like, like, I win something in the market, and the market turns out wasn't that great. So I will.
Do you know what, right? Well, just quickly on the contract thing, because I've not said anything on it yet. The only thing that really annoys me more than the Rudiger thing is that, at least with Rudiger, we kind of knew where we stood from the outset. As with Christensen, it was like, he got given the offer, he went for it, and then he changed his mind, and then went, okay, I'll go for it again. And like, that annoyed me. That did annoy me. I think that annoyed most of us, to be fair. In the way that he dealt with it, I just feel like it was completely different to the way Rudiger is. If you just done what Rudiger did at the beginning, just said, look, I'm not going to accept anything other than this. I'll stick to this. I'm not going to go around this. If you can do this, cool. If not, I'll go. If that was the case and he was leaving on that basis, I'd be cool. I'd be like, all right, fair enough. Like, we're doing the same thing with Rudiger. He wants more money. He thinks he deserves more. Cool. But the fact that he just done the to and from and back and forwards, and obviously Rudiger probably influenced his mind a bit as well in the way that he was trying to get more money and stuff. I don't know. I just find it a bit.
I feel like Christensen, and maybe I'm wrong here because this is just a personal opinion, it might not be the case. I think Christensen basically had a value of how much he was worth. He went to the club. He went to the club. He got it agreed, and then because of everything that was happening with Rudiger, he tried to leverage the club to get more money, and he did it in a dick way. I just don't like the bad faith part of it. I don't mind somebody going,
I
I
just
want
feel
this
like
money.
his contracts affected his performances. For me personally, from what I've seen this season, I just felt like wasn't right ever since. Like even when he was playing and he got given opportunities with all this contract things going on, he didn't look right for me. And I go back to the Zenit game and the West Ham game stuff. For me, he just didn't look there. Like, it was like it was saying on his mind, and that's what I'm saying. If he needs to go, he doesn't want to be a part of this football club. Go, no problem.
Yeah,
I don't want him to, but if he wants to go and do his thing, do his thing. But Chelsea has to move forward with Chelsea Football Club. We need to keep going, and that is it. That is literally it with Christensen. I don't think he's world class, great to defend. I think he's a good defender.
we only have two world class players, Conte and Thiago
Thiago
Silva.
Silva.
That's
When
it.
people say Lukaku, because I know there's people telling me Lukaku's world class.
Fuck no.
He's not.
He's
He's
not.
world class. I don't want to get into that. Actually, we'll do a debate show on Lukaku at a later stage because the amount of people.
There's
that
no
I've been
debate.
Twitter,
There's no debate. There's
I'm having
just going to be
arguments with
abuse
people on Twitter about
For me-
Lukaku being world class.
For me, it is only Silva, it is only Conte, and then the only person this season, and I wouldn't say world class, but I'd say the only other person that I think is next on the list where you'd say this season has been exceptional is Kovacic. He's not world class. I'm not saying he is, but I think he's in world class form this season.
Yeah, I don't think he's world class. I think he's just in world. Again, I think he's like Rudiger.
Put Derek's comment up, please.
Who?
I find Derek's comment as funny.
Christensen took a girl to a date and left before ordering the dinner. Rudiger didn't even want to go out with the girl.
That's a good one. Still.
That's a good one. Derek, big up to you, man. I like that one. That was good.
That's quality.
Lukaku is world class. Reporter.
Oh my god.
Just say. I don't want to get into the Lukaku comment, guys. Please, I know you want to.
I'm pretty sure we're all a clean sweep here in saying that he isn't.
Yeah.
Well, there's still
no
people
chance.
feel there's still
Add goals and
people think
assists, and then we'll put you up there.
there's still people think that he's the world class. I'm not gonna mention name a monster.
Oh,
Somebody said it, yeah. But anyway,
World class waffler.
The thing is, guys,
Not monster, by the way, Lukaku. Before anyone switches, big up monster.
Lewis taking shots.
no,
Yeah, someone will try and
Monster
spin
still
that shit.
no Monster still saying that Lukaku world class. So it's L for him. So
guys, look, we're going to finish in like 9 minutes. So we'll tie it up an hour and a half. If you've got any questions, there's still over 120 of you here. Smash the likes. Let's try and get it close to 100 likes if you can. Ask your question. If it's a question that you want to ask anyone, all of us, or if you've got an individual question for any of the panel, ask it now, and we'll try and answer your questions. It doesn't have to just be about Christensen. It can be about anything you like, provided it's not personal. Yeah, keep it Chelsea. Yeah, but we move. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. We've got Brighton tomorrow, haven't we? So that's good. That's a must
by the
win.
way, the Brighton team,
Oh,
the team that I was struggling, say it, the one that we conceded was the last minute goal was Brighton, and it went for the 1-on-1 challenge for the left, and the ball went in the box. That's what I was the goal I was talking about that last time.
Yeah, well, I'll just ask you guys a quick question. Romelu Lukaku, does he start tomorrow or not, based on his last performance?
I think he does.
No.
The only reason why I want to see Lukaku start is for all the funny fail comps I'm going to see at full time. And to be honest, people are maxing those out. They're fucking hilarious.
First of all, he played 93 minutes 2 days ago. Do you really think those pizza rolls are gonna move again 2 days later?
Yeah, that guy will be heavy breathing and scratching his ass after the
guy
20.
doesn't even
No, the guy doesn't sweat. If you looked at the end of the game, he wasn't sweating. And Conte was.
I don't blame him. Do you see his heat map during the game?
It was
just
like
saw a
this.
big fat patch in the centre circle where he was tying his shoelaces.
Guys,
That was for kickoff.
Ages ago, I said
Well,
that
and
he was
for
static.
kick off the Walla.
I said he was static from the beginning. I said this with Johnny ages ago, Redneck as well. Like I've been saying that Lukaku is too static, and people will go, "No, he's a different player. He's come from Inter Milan. He moves. He can control."
No, my only thing where I'll try to go to bat for this dickhead is that we look like we're telling him to do it, which is a problem in itself. The problem is this guy has no fucking work rate. He moves like he has 20-kilogram weights on his ankles.
Can I just say something?
He's
That is the worst.
in the warm-up, the one that Johnny put up.
Lewis, that is the worst attribute that you can have in a Tuchel system. You know that. I keep telling people.
Why did
we sign him?
So I think,
and that's the biggest question. That's the biggest question.
So can I
because the one thing I can say is like you put Lukaku in the right system, you will get something out of him. But we are not doing it. So what was the point?
So I said,
Why aren't we?
We're not going to do that.
So there's only so often you can put all the blame on Lukaku. And don't get me wrong, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. But my argument is, which will be now, and especially if he starts tomorrow, there's only so many times you can play a player like that in this system where he's not performing before suddenly his not performing isn't a him issue, it's a manager's issue because he shouldn't be selected. I said, I got laughed at in the Man City game when I turned around on stream and said, I don't think we should start Lukaku.
Matt,
I think we should start Havertz.
The board is going to pressure Tuchel saying, why is 100 million investment is not playing?
Well, they've got, it's true, and I get it. And I'm not saying you need to drop him full time, but just like Mason Mount when Mason Mount went performing, sometimes you need to drop a player to give him a kick up the arse. And
I agree.
For me, Timo Werner tomorrow, Kai Havertz and Mount up three.
Mount. Yeah, they're the three for me. Werner, Havertz. I actually think Werner, Havertz, Mount is. I keep saying that. I think it might actually be the one. Havertz and Mount have to play for me. They're the two that should be playing. Like
So for me, I think we'll get this the wrong way round because I think we should have had a fluid front three up against Man City. I got laughed at when I said that, but I did say I wouldn't start Lukaku. We should have a fluid front three. Yeah, after the game, I think I was proven right. But the one thing I will say is against Brighton, with the way that they play and their defence, because how good Lewis Dunk is. But my point being is, I think this is a game that, if anything, it should be on paper built for Lukaku.
Yeah,
it should be.
I agree with you.
So
we should
for
play
me,
Lukaku tomorrow and play Kai Havertz on Saturday.
And that's what I would say.
Guys, this is what I was going to ask you because I want to answer some of these questions in the chat. What lineup tomorrow do you think Tuchel will go for? Do you think it'll be the back three or the back four?
Back three.
I think
definitely back three. We only played back four because we didn't have enough centre backs.
Yeah,
I'm going back four. I just got this weird feeling he's going to change it. I think he's going to do back four.
I'd be surprised.
If he does back four, Lukaku plays. If he does a back three, then we're going to play Mount, Havertz, and potentially Werner. I
agree with you. Lewis Dunk is actually good, but
we'll see tomorrow, innit?
But
all right, good question here for you guys. Where do we finish at the end of the season?
I hope second.
You still second?
I'll speak honestly. I think we finished third.
Top of the league.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh, who said that? No, I'm at level. It's the second. I don't think we're in a top four race. I know Arsenal can overtake us if they win their games in hand, but Arsenal's going to Arsenal sooner or later, so I'm not too worried about that. I think it's a case for top three.
Top four race.
You know what? We probably will finish third if we're being real about it.
I think it's more to less to Liverpool than anything. I think we'll finish above Liverpool.
Do you know the thing that
drop in March?
I
usually drop in March.
The thing that does give me
problems.
The thing that gives me a little bit of hope at the moment is because we have a bigger squad than most out there, and I feel like there's going to be. Well, we know the Premier League are fucking up the postponements at the minute. There's going to be periods of time where some of these other teams that are in around us are going to have to play multiple games on a bounce, and I think they're going to drop points at that period where we don't have that problem. So I think we have got a good chance. It's all going to come down. I'm going to be honest. It's all going to come down to whether we can get fucking Lukaku scoring and stop shipping in stupid goals.
Well, yeah, and get most of our first team back, barring Chilwell as well. But Jim, do you think us going for Frankie De Jong is a good decision for the team?
I don't think we're going for Frankie De Jong. It's a fake info.
Yeah, I've not heard much of that. I mean, we need it, but not now. I wouldn't even be thinking about it now.
We don't even need him. Why is the difference between him and Jennifer? Enough with the fucking tiki-taka.
Progressively, he's quicker.
Yeah, he's better. I know that. I just don't have time.
I personally don't want him. I don't
want him either. Yeah, I want a little bit.
I want who?
Frankie De Jong.
Oh yeah, I think we got enough midfielders. We have other areas to look at.
Yeah.
That's my reason. If somebody was to say, "Oh, you can have Frankie De Jong now," I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, that's lovely." But if we're talking priority, we need other positions filled way before that, and a number of them, 3 or 4.
Yeah. Do you guys think we're going to sign a wing back by this window? I ain't got no faith. I'm going to be honest.
No. You don't bring back Kennedy if you're signing a wing back, in my opinion.
This is a quick answer. No, there's no point in even thinking about it. It's like Lewis with Christensen.
There is a better question for Class Rev than this.
Yeah. What else
Now,
we got?
Klasref was talking about Werner's dick in our last stream. Like, no chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wrong with him, man. Is he
There's
really?
different questions for
Yep.
He's like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah, this
Oh,
guy
yes.
wasn't going to let him hide from that one.
No.
Jim, can you play
This
that
is-
Lukaku video again? Which one? Oh, I know when you're talking about. I've got to find it.
Did
Though.
you see it?
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
I've got to find it. Go on, you can talk for a second. I think I've got it somewhere. It is funny, man.
Oh, I've just seen a super chat. You want to get that one up?
When I said Dembele,
I found it.
It depends on the salary. It depends on the salary. If it's for free, salary.
we already
depends.
have one winger that's usually on a hospital bed. I'm good than Dembulance. I love these ones. Lakaka.
It's like W.
Look at him, this is it. Yeah, look.
Lakaka.
It's like
Oh,
W at the
yeah,
end,
man.
man.
Lakaka.
Yeah, Dembele for me. I think if he's on a free and your wages aren't too high, you always do that deal because
Yeah.
there's always going to be sell on value. And at
Okay,
worst,
well,
he's a different option
He's
winger.
still young, is he?
Yeah, he's one of these that I think people have
Hennessy
given
or
up on him
rum?
way too
Hennessy.
early.
Hennessy for me, bro. Hennessy or rum, if anyone drinks. Hennessy or rum.
Rum.
I'm
Rum.
Russian.
I'm
That's
gonna
the
go. I'm
answer.
gonna go hard.
I'm going to go Hennessy, bro.
By the way, I'll take either Rice or Tuchumeni.
Switch Daniels,
Yeah.
big up for donation. He says, Dembele, you guys for it? Hell fucking no for me. I don't know. You
No
guys for it, bro.
Dembulance. I'm good.
Yeah.
And like I said, it depends if he gets pay cut and
Free.
free. Yeah,
If he's free in a pay cut, I'll take him.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Conor Gallagher for next year? For me, again, I'm
really
not so
excited.
sure.
I
I'm
am
very-
so
I'm-
excited to see
I
Gallagher
am,
next
but I
year.
just don't want him to come back into this team if we're going to play the same system and stuff. We need to buy players.
This
that
is
are
the
gonna
thing. I
allow
don't
us
think
to
we're
adapt
gonna
the
play
system.
this system. I don't think we're gonna play this system.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't think he gets in the team in this current system because he needs
Well-
to be behind, doesn't he? And I don't want to see him playing out wide.
Well, here's the
personally.
thing. He's not gonna be an automatic starter. That's one thing. I think he's gonna be part of a. Oh come on!
That's a
Why are you
silly
doing me
question.
dirty,
Question
man? with
for
that?
Lewis: How do you find people like W and Klasrev? No. I found
They
it out.
find
I don't
themselves.
mind it.
A W used to always pop up when I was putting the stream in the chat. So I kind of know him now, so I don't mind giving him the link. Klasref, I don't remember where I found Klasref.
That's
But
what
he must
came
have been
out.
off Monsters stream.
He was on
or something.
Monsters.
Monster
I
stream.
found
He was on
Klasrev.
Monster
Yeah,
stream.
there we go. It
That's
was
better,
Monsters
yeah.
stream.
Who in the attack would you keep for next season?
Havertz,
Um,
Cho, and Mount because they're the youngest, so I'll allow them the time to grow and develop. The rest can all duck.
Yeah, I see it goes first for me.
Hazard or Zola, last one. Somebody put super chat.
Rice or too many? Too many for me. What are you
Too-
saying, guys?
If you can get Rice for the right amount, I'd go Rice over to many, depending on price.
Money,
going
yes.
for
I've
Right.
got too many. He's got the pair check seal of approval, and that's enough for me.
That's all we need. Yeah,
Oh,
I
Peter
agree.
Cech said it.
Yeah, Czech said he prefers Tchouameni.
In Czech we trust.
When did he say it?
Oh, see, now you're pushing me for
Yeah.
the source, and I don't recall. I know it was a year
Exactly.
ago, though.
Exactly.
I can't
so
give you the
move
direct
on.
source. This is why I say I'm not an in the know. I just go off what I hear.
Switch Daniel with a donation again. Thank you, bro. It says Hazard or Zola. Blimmin' now. This is horrible because
I'm biased
Well, I was the
because
older one
Zola
that-
was before my time, so I have to say
Zola,
myself.
Zola for me because I was the one that.
I love them both as much as each other.
Oh, yeah, I
Zola-
love them both. I've got to go Hazard.
Hazard
Zola
that
was
much.
my early years as a Chelsea fan,
Zola
so
was
for me,
my-
I have to go
Zola
Zola.
was the first proper technician
love
that Chelsea
Zola,
ever
man.
had.
I love
Mm.
Zola.
So
He was-
for me, it was. But I love.
and
I
he
love
was a
Hazard.
magician, though, wasn't he?
For me, he was one of the
unreal.
first magicians. So yeah, he some of the stuff he did was ridiculous.
Yeah. Hazard just wins it a little bit more, but other than that, it's probably because I've seen more of him, I'd say.
I think we saw Hazard at the prime. We never saw Zola at the prime.
Yes,
Zola
we
came
do.
here late.
I think we do have money to spend, but we need to clear out the debt first, man. I mean, the deadwood.
We
first.
don't have money to spend. That's why we sell to buy club.
We do if we clear the wage book. That's what I'm saying. I do think there is money there.
Technically, we don't have money until we sell,
Yeah,
right?
technically, until we sort
Exactly.
until we sort that shit out. Yeah.
So we sell to buy club.
Listen, guys, smash the like button. Still 120 US. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. As we're
Would
on a
you
road
take
to
Hazard?
4K.
Can I have a question? Would you take
Go on.
Hazard over Dembele?
Hazard.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. I think
Yes,
I
every
I
day of
think
the
what
week.
Hazard brings in the locker room is invaluable.
Laughs. It's laughs and Burger King. That's what Hazard brings in the back.
Yeah. I mean, look, we can still win some trophies, to be fair. We can win a Carabao Cup. We're in the final of that. We've got the Champions League. We've got the FIFA Club World Cup. We've got the FA Cup as well. There's a lot.
The only two trophies I wanted, it's a Super Cup and the Club World Cup. That's
I want the Club
for
World
me
Cup
was
because
the
we ain't
ones.
had it.
Because
I
we
want the
don't
Club
have it,
World
and
Cup.
that's the
And
only one that I have.
Yeah, I'd like to get an FA Cup as well. I've not had an FA Cup in ages, man. I just love the meaning of the FA Cup for me.
I'd like to win them all.
If you want to watch a financial report on the
VJ,
Abramovich,
yeah, I know Sportswire, yeah, I've seen it.
Go watch VJ because Abramovich already made two companies to put the money from different angles, so it will not be from him.
Yeah.
So it's already dodgy. Like you don't want to get in trouble from it.
Listen, guys, I'm going to shoot now. Anyways, big up everyone that's been in the chat. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's been a bit up and down. At the end, we've sort of had a more
Do you know
calm
this sign?
chat
What
as
this
well.
sign is?
It was.
Do you know what this sign?
What
It's
is
we
this?
mop the floors with you too.
Oh yeah. I used your head to mop the floor. It's more like that's what you're saying. Yeah.
AC Hive stands tall again. Let's go.
Exactly.
Definitely hasn't stand tall to be fair today. But
No, I mean we're free.
Stand tall like Christensen on a 1v1. People, let's go.
Oh my god.
Oh my days.
Come on, G. Let's go.
Anyway, again,
AC Hive in the building.
We finished it. We dealt with it. We moved. If he's a
I
player,
know we won the Super Cup in '98.
You finished it just like Timo Werner, but it's cool.
No, we finished you. We finished you, bro. We finished you. We dunked you. We slammed.
I was talking about the Club World Cup. We never won it. For the guys in the chat.
Yeah. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Go and check out Carefree Lewis G on his channel as well. If you haven't already, guys, go and follow him. You can find the Russian bot on Twitter as well. I'm not too actually sure. Are you the Russian bot on Twitter as well?
Yes.
Is that your name? Yeah.
No,
just type
Redneck Blue.
Redneck Blue on Twitter. And CFC Mate K is anonymous. He hides. You can only find him on GNA TV or in the Discord channel, which you can follow in the link below. If you click into that, you can join the GNA community over there where we have discussions pretty much every day about everything as well. So,
Lewis, you should make Matty and Jem Penitentiary from AC.
Oh, blimey now.
Here we go.
Here
we go.
Yeah, he's not meant to put me in because again, I've not been proven wrong with my fucking faults, and we just moved forward anyway. So anyway, smash the like button.
You can't win an opinion debate.
Yeah,
you can't win an opinion, and that's what it is. It is an opinion.
Drop a poll. I'll say drop a poll. You can drop a poll.
I want to see
unless you're a fairy like a certain defender you've been trying to criticize.
It's a poll about opinions, an opinion debate. What's the point?
Yeah, just ask people who they agree or disagree with.
It's
too late. It's too late. It should have been at the beginning.
No, it's not too late. You can drop it on your Twitter. You can drop it on your Twitter.
What's the next debate? Lucio versus Christensen. Get Ram in it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah,
remember that?
Lucio, best defender.
We can do Van Dyke versus Christensen just so I can get some nibbles.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'll back that one, but especially if he stays at Chelsea, because Van Dyke is going downhill, mate. He's not the same player, to be fair. So
one season wonder.
Yeah, one season wonder, mate. Listen, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with the preview, yeah, which I didn't get to do today, but for the Brighton and Chelsea game. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening or day, wherever it is that you may be. And we'll see you again very soon. Peace out.
Take care.